All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Lucent Truth, and we are the Lucent Truth, starting with the fellow above me, Carbon X. Say hello to everybody, Carbon.
Hello, it was a good movie.
Never no enthusiasm. And right below me is King81, aka Arsenal Beats. Say what's up.
What's up, everybody?
And I'm your gracious host, G-Flux the Great, G-Flux the Grand, G-Flux the Magnificent. And I must say, this was a magnificent movie. And today we're going to review Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. We're fresh out of the theaters, and we're going to talk about everything that's great about it because it was great. So I guess all you guys know what our reviews are going to be on it. But we're gonna break this down like how we usually do a movie review. We're going to go, plot, story, that type of thing, effects and stuff like that. So I will say though, before we get started with the movie, we'll talk a little bit about trailers before the movie that were interesting or that people like. The only one that I can really remember that kind of stuck out in my mind is the Ninja Turtles one. The more of it I see, the more I want to watch the movie. You know what I'm saying? But not everything else, I just didn't really care that much about as far as the trailers were concerned. But that Ninja Turtles one was pretty good. So we're probably going to do a podcast specifically on that. So yeah. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. As you can see, audience, it's already getting really high ratings. 9.1 out of 10 on IMDb. I haven't looked at Rotten Tomatoes yet. Let's see. Let's look at it real quick. Cross
deserves the high rating.
Spider-Verse Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see what's being rated so far. For some reason, this site has.
The critics are gonna say something stupid like, "Man, they didn't do this right."
Look at that. The critics got as at a 95%, and the audience scored 97%.
Okay, at least the critics are being smart this time.
Yeah. The movie was good. The movie was just freaking good. All right, it was good. But let's get into it. I mean, there's so much to talk about. But we'll do it in order. Let's talk about special effects and cinematography, or in this case, I guess we should say special effects and animation. Since this is an animated movie. Starting with you, Carbon X, what did you think of the overall special effects and animation?
They did a really good job. So I know whenever the scene turned more serious, they were the way they changed the colors around. And I remember at one point they do red and blue, to separate the characters, or the background would just completely. It's that one scene where she was talking to her father, the background just started just melting like paint.
Okay, but let me just stop you there. Let me go ahead and warn the audience. This will be a spoiler review. I'll actually have it in the title and stuff, but if we're gonna go into scenes and stuff, we should go ahead and warn them right now. This is gonna be spoiler. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue.
You want to do a part where we don't do spoilers first, or?
No, let's just get into it. Let's get into it.
Yes.
Oh, all right. And it's even the same with the explosion. They made the explosions look like they're almost 2D. And so you probably did do some 2D effects. And even when they did the spot, you could even see for a couple frames. You know how when you draw a character and you do the 2D early layout of them, they have little ball joints. You can even see that on them. I was that's kind of cool. They add that kind of effect to them. So it's they were going back and add extra 2D stuff on top of the 3D models, which is pretty cool to see that. They're really trying to go all the way for the 2D feel for this, and still keeping it 3D. So they're doing a really good job, especially with how they change the lighting for certain scenes and all that kind of stuff. So effects are really good. They did a lot what they have.
So what'd you think, King 81?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Carbon, man. I mean, just the special effects with everything, and it's tight. Maybe one of the things that sticks out with me with the whole Spider-Verse thing is how they combine so many. I mean, I love the art style, but even so, in that art style, it's a lot of other different styles being introduced in it, and they get away with it. It's I do the graphics and stuff like that. It's we're always I know rules made to be broken, but it's you kind of want to stick to that the same type of style in it. But I just love how they just break the rules in it. It's still in that art style of theirs, but they still got so many different styles in it, and they get away with it. But of course, it's different universes and different things. But it's I don't know, they just make it work, man. And
the alternate universes helps helps the believability
Yeah,
of it. Yeah.
yeah. So they can get away with it though, but even though and so getting away with it, they do it really well, nicely with it to make it all come
Hmm.
together. Because even I noticed some of the characters had a little bit more stop motion to it,
Yeah.
but as the other like intertwine as they go, it works.
Hmm.
It kind of it feels like it shouldn't, but it still does. So I really felt like they pulled it off very well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I have to say, man, like one thing I really enjoyed about this movie is that I forgot I was watching a 3D animated movie.
Mm,
That's I think how immersive I think the art style and effects are. Um,
mm,
and I think that's what 3D animated movies have kind of been missing for a long time. Like, to me, this is like somewhat groundbreaking. I mean, the first movie is, I mean, yeah, the first movie, Into the Spider Verse, was kind of like the first one to really kind of do it. I guess on this scale, maybe there's been smaller projects that have done something similar. Uh,
mm,
but but when it comes to the aesthetics in this movie, man, it's top notch, man. Like, I know Uncle Dave, because Uncle Dave went with us, but he didn't want to stay up this late to review it with us. But he, I don't think he liked it all that much. He said he thought it was a little bit too distracting, at least in the beginning, but eventually it kind of grew on him. I liked it from the very beginning.
mm.
From the very beginning, like when they show Gwen Stacy's
Yeah.
story, all the way until they jump into Miles Morales' universe, and then when they show the punk rock Miles Morales from London Spider Man, he has like that punk rock. He looks like
Yeah.
newsprint, and it's always changing. Like I liked it, man. And it
Yeah.
showed, or like how they showed Scarlet Spider, how he has a very comic book look to him. So it was really cool, man. I just thought overall, man, like there's so much to talk about when it comes to visual effects. I can't even remember it all. I just remember liking every little bit. Even and it almost looked like some parts were too, like the black and white parts where they were
Yeah, I
showing
mean,
like
some of them had to be. Yeah,
premonitions.
yeah, some of them
Some
had
of
to
that
be.
looked like it
So they
might have
had to
been
go back and
2D.
draw them for sure.
Yeah, some of that looked like it might have been
Yeah.
actually 2D animation. I'm not sure if it was, but it looked like it was 2D animation. And the way they did the spot was awesome. Like how like he became more and more powerful, and the more spots he came to the
Hmm.
point where he became black, you just saw little hints of white. It was almost like a yin yang type of thing. Like it was like, like the darker he became, the more of a nemesis he became. But the white still kind of represented some goodness, whereas when he was just
Some
mostly white but had the
turkey
it's
goodness
almost
to
like
him.
it was man,
He's
it was
more like
pretty
a
cool,
goofy
man.
villain at first. He's more
That's what
goofy
was
at
so
first.
cool
Yeah.
Over
about
time,
it,
he became
yeah.
more serious.
And they perfectly illustrated that
Yeah.
with the artwork. You know what I'm saying? Like even if there was no
Hmm.
audio, you could tell you could tell what was happening with the character just by the visual effects. So they did a really good job. Even when
Yeah.
uh when he goes to the alternate universe that's very similar to his own, I thought that was the way they did some of the cityscape. Because I guess it was more infested with crime and stuff. And the whole scenes
Yeah.
with like when his uncle punched the punching bag,
Oh, that
and you
was
saw
good. That was yeah.
man,
That was
it was
good.
Oh
so
yeah.
cool.
Woo,
Yeah, it was
yeah.
so cool, man. But
And they remixed Power's theme pretty good too.
huh?
Yeah.
They remixed Power's theme pretty good. Where we're gonna have like a thing just for music on this, or
Yeah, that'll be later on. That'll be
yeah,
later
only the
on.
music is pretty good. We gotta talk about it.
Yeah, but I also thought they did a good job with aging Miles Morales up. Because he was
Oh
a little
yeah,
little
definitely.
shorter, a little younger in the movie before, and now he's a little tall, a little big. I was arguing with one guy on not arguing. We were actually just conversing about it. But I was like, one of the things I like about this movie is that it's showing it's almost like a coming of age story. We're witnessing Miles Morales become a man, and that story is timeless. It's always powerful, and I think um, seeing Miles taller, you know what I'm saying? Like he says, he
Hmm.
starting to get the mustache in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I think, because before he was a little short, he's still skinny, but he wore the shorts. Now he's becoming more Spider-Man, so he don't wear the shorts and stuff and the hoodie jacket.
Yeah.
So from an aesthetic point of view, I thought they did a good job depicting that. Or even it almost seemed like there's a couple scenes where you see uh what's her name, Gwen, when she goes back to her universe and she's talking to her dad. They use a lot of pastels to show contrast.
Hmm.
So like if he's standing in a doorway, the room behind him is like all in pink, like pink pastel. But the room that she's in with the lights off is like all blue pastel. Man, just good color theory.
Yeah,
Everything
the
they did
characters
was,
really stand out.
man, it was good.
Yeah.
They did a good freaking job, man. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful movie, beautiful animation. And overall, man, it just like the first one, man, it's just top notch. It's a different style that no one's really seen before on the big screen. Like I said, there might have been some smaller um, uh, shorts or something, or that's done something similar, but I've never seen anything quite like it, and so it has a uniqueness to it that I think is really enjoyable. Is there anything else you guys wanted to say about the special the animation and special effects?
Oh yeah. One thing they do too, they
I
have
say
the
the
first
one scene.
Where you want to
No,
finish?
go ahead, man. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I can choose.
Yeah, you're
Wait,
kind of
one
bored.
thing I
You're
like,
kind of
they
bored,
get like
Orlando.
yeah. But one thing I like too, they actually make it like with a slower like frame rate to this too, like what typical 3D animation would do is like solid 30 frames or whatever.
Yeah,
They slow it down to like 12 or 15 frame rate.
that's what
Some of the
that's what
characters
gives
are
it that.
varied, but they tend to have like a slower frame rate though.
And that's what gives it that more animation like feel, even though it's 3D. It almost looks more like
Yeah.
stop motion. So yeah, I and you kind of see that a little bit in the actually you do see it a lot in the Ninja Turtles trailer. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that route that they're going, I really like that. Instead of just doing the super smooth animation, I like that because it gives it more of an animated feel, almost like it was done by hand, like 2D animation. So I have to give it to them. They did a good job on that. But what were you gonna say, Big O?
Yeah, am I coming through better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now there was just one scene with Gwen and her dad, and it's like her dad looked green. I don't know if y'all remember that scene. I was just trying to
Because I think
kind of.
her particular universe, it's more pastelly. So
Mhm.
every now and then they change colors. I think that's a
Okay.
staple of her universe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to see what type of mood that would like like he was getting sick or something,
Yeah.
of the situation or something like.
Dude,
How he was
that
feeling.
one scene when it comes to like composition and stuff, where Gwen is fighting the Vulture from the Renaissance universe or whatever.
Renaissance.
Yeah, and she saves everybody by by being able to hold the helicopter up, and she's tired,
Mhm.
and you just see the silhouette coming behind her, and it's her father. Man, that was done so well. It was done so well because it just set the tension up so good, and it
Yeah.
perfectly foreshadowed what Miles Morales is going through. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So man, they did
Yeah.
an excellent job. And I have to say this too, and I mentioned this in the first review we did of Into the Spider-Verse. The they did I like all the main Spider-Man characters. I like all their suit designs. Miles, I like his new one with the red stripe on the side. That's cool. But Gwen's particularly, I think, looks really cool, especially with the ballerina shoes. It they did just a good job tailoring her design. They did a good job tailoring the designs to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And because I think Spider-Man's always had one of the coolest looking Spider-Man, probably one of the best. Even though like the original classic Spider-Man suit has always been one of the better looking superhero suits anyway. So seeing these variations of it, I think is actually pretty awesome. I mean, I just like everything, like them going from like the late to like the Lego dimension and all the different dimensions and how they look different, or how they even brought in live action
Or from
people.
the
Because
Venom.
yeah, what was the guy's name? Childish Gambino. He's in the movie. Like he's
Oh
literally
yeah,
in the
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
He's literally in the movie, like as a real person. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like they did a good job. They did a good job, and they were like kind of like how you were saying, Big O. They weren't scared to push those boundaries. You know what I'm saying? They were, they brought it all together,
Because
and
they
it
seen it.
works.
Yeah, because they seen this working now. At
Yeah.
first, I know I seen some video where they were talking about like a lot of studio, like a lot of places they wanted to try something different, away from like the 3D stuff, but it's all about money, and then I wasn't sure if the audience was gonna like it, but yeah, with the first Into the Spider-Verse, they people loved it. It was something different, man.
Yeah.
It's just a whole different style. I think that's what
But
draws
it
me
wasn't
to it
just
as
like
well
it
too.
wasn't
It's like
just
I
different
want
for
to see a
this.
different style.
But it wasn't just different for the sake of being different. It was creative. It was interesting.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They brought something
Yeah,
somewhat new to the table. So
exactly.
I had to give it to him. I had to give it to him. But we'll move
Definitely.
on to I think it was a plot and story. Yeah, we'll move on to plot and story. Starting with you, Carbon X. What did you think of the overall plot and story?
Oh yeah, yeah. The story overall was pretty good. It's top on multiple things. It has like the I don't know what is that one Spider-Man called, the Future Spider-Man? That's
Spider-Man
Sark Bolt.
2099.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say that one. That one, he has his own like little story now. He kind of wants to keep the canon timeline,
Mm.
And you got Miles' story and you got the Spot story. It's kind of three
Hmm.
stories kind of combined together, and I feel like all of them are done
And they
pretty good.
mesh. Yeah, they mesh so well,
Mesh.
man.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
made them fit really well
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
and
That's how you do it.
And like
That's
what
how.
they're about, the way the story is written, I feel it's gonna be like the end game of like Spider-Man. They're gonna have like two teams fighting, or not end game, but not end game. What was it? No, Civil War. It's gonna be like a Civil War Spider-Man, right? I feel that's
Yeah.
what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Which,
Hmm.
yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah. Building it up.
Yeah,
All right. So
Definitely.
these three men here are the writers. Yeah, I kind of zoom in since it won't sound
and then
stupid.
I feel like the Spotter's overall a pretty good villain. Like I understand his motivations and his motive. That's one thing. All the characters' motivations make sense, and when they do something
Hmm.
story, it impacts the story. You can actually see their impacts that you happen through the story, which that's one thing that's kind
Mm.
of cool. Because some stories, there's a character's impacts don't make no kind of sense, or it doesn't affect the story, but it does definitely in this movie.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's one thing I gotta say.
So what about you, Big O?
Yeah, man. It kept me on my seat. I must say it was a roller coaster ride. Some things I wasn't looking to expect to happen, especially the ending, but
Yeah, that
that's a
ending,
whole other thing. Hey, I'm telling you, man, this is one of the few movies that's got me like mad. But I'm mad, but in a good way. I want more. I just can't wait to see more from it, man, because it's
To be
storytelling
continued.
is I hate that, man. But this is something like yo, like I didn't even stay, for the end credits, man. I was like, yo, I was like, I'll catch the rest of it, on the other thing. But nah, man. The story, it was just so gripping, man. And like I
Yeah.
said, a lot of twists and turns in it. Some things I thought was going to happen, it didn't happen, which made me like, oh, okay, wow, it didn't go this way.
Exactly.
And
You see, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's
But what
not
they
too
did do,
predictable.
was still very interesting. Unlike Star
yes,
Wars. Yeah.
it's yeah, man. It's just the story. Everything I thought that probably was going to happen, it didn't happen. It took another twist to it, and it kept me engaged to it. So I mean, definitely just with that dynamic, alone, man. I mean, it just goes with the story. I mean, the story just keeps me hook wise on it, man. I mean, I want more even now. Just like I can't wait till the next one comes out, man. It's just and then and just like the whole development with all the characters and stuff, man. It's like this is a perfect balance with everything in the storytelling and everything is like coming together. I just hope in the third one they don't drop the ball, which I don't think they will. But I mean, it's building up,
No, they got
man.
a story planned out. They definitely got a story
Yeah,
planned out. I can
man.
tell you
It's
that.
it's
Unlike other franchises that plan out last minute and have to redo their
man.
script multiple times.
Hey, hey, it's like whatever their framework is on this, hey, it's definitely inspirational to, use that as like a blueprint, man. But definitely, man, just everything's just well balanced, with the plot and everything, and a whole different story to the. At first, I was thinking, okay, yeah, I'm gonna enjoy it. Yeah, we got these different, Spider Verses and all that, but the whole storyline and all was just wasn't totally what I was expecting for it to be, but in a good way, and it just kept me engaged, So definitely a hero's journey through a lot of the characters and stuff and all, a lot of hey, they're at top, hey, now they're at the bottom, hey, they're at the top again, now they're I think that's how it was done. It keeps you engaged,
Yeah.
man. So they did
Yeah.
a wonderful job on that, man. So definitely can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, man. Like, I have to give it to Chris Miller, David Callum,
Mhm.
and Phil Lord. Man, you guys
Yeah,
did an excellent,
yeah,
excellent job. This is how it's done. Star Wars, hire these men. Hire these
yes,
men.
yo,
Look. Here's what I like about this movie the most. There's real stakes. There's real
Yeah.
stakes.
mm,
You believe it. You
Yes.
feel for the character. He's like, oh my God, what is he going to do? Or what is she going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like that's good writing when you care, like when you
Mhm.
care about the characters. And that's what I think the problem with Star Wars. Nobody cared about Rey because she just wasn't a well written character. It's not the fact that she was a woman or that she's Rey or whatever. She just wasn't well written. It was nothing interesting. Like they took Spider-Man's story, right? And they kind of threw
Mhm.
it on its head. They reversed a lot of things. It makes it interesting because Miles has to live up to it. You know what I'm saying? And I have to say, man, like you
Mhm.
said, Big O, like this is classic hero's journey. This is classic becoming a hero type of storytelling
Mhm.
and sacrifices that you have to make. You know what I'm saying? To be that person. You know what I'm saying? So I think, man, just overall, when it comes to plot and story, man, they killed it. They knocked it out of the park. Out of the
Mhm.
park. I
Yep.
mean, I think this movie encapsulates probably the first three phases of Marvel. Those first three phases of
Mhm.
Marvel, not every movie was great, but for the most part, they did a good balance between action, drama, and comedy. And that's what this movie is. It's a
Mhm.
perfect balance between action, drama, and comedy. Like there were some scenes, man, where I was like, yo, I felt for Miles, man. I was like, or I felt for
Yeah.
Gwen because
Yeah.
their stories parallel each other. And that's another thing I really like. I
Mhm.
liked how they began it with Gwen. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because in the first movie, she's not a Mary Sue, but she's almost like a she's already become Spider Woman, whereas Miles is
Mhm.
still becoming Spider Man. So you didn't really get to see her backstory. In this movie, you get to see a lot more of her vulnerability. This is how you're supposed to write a female character. This is
Yeah.
how you're supposed to do in Star Wars. She's not all perfect. She makes mistakes. But what makes her a hero is that she rises to the occasion. Look,
Mhm.
I'll buy a figurine of Gwen. I mean, yeah, of Gwen. I won't buy a
Mhm.
figurine of Ray. I'm sorry, I won't. You know, I will buy a figurine of Miles Morales. I was really tempted to buy that, that little cuppy drink they had of Miles Morales that you could get. I don't know if you guys saw it,
Mhm.
but it almost looked
Oh,
like
at
a
the
little.
movie theater.
Yeah, the movie.
Yeah,
I
I
was
didn't
about to get
know.
one. I was this close to
Oh, no,
getting one. Just put it on my
the
table.
line. The
Yeah,
line was too long
yeah, I
for
know.
me by the time like
But I'd buy a figure of Miles Morales. I'll buy posters of Miles Morales. I'll buy T-shirts of Miles Morales. I'll buy T-shirts and posters of Gwen. I'm not going to
Mhm.
buy figurines and posters of Finn. I'm not going to do it because he's lame. He's a lame character. He's horribly written. He's horribly written. Same thing with Poe Dameron. Pretty much any new character in the Star Wars trilogy, sequel trilogy, is horrible. Pretty much all of them. But
Mhm.
going back to Spider-Man and Spider-Verse, man, I just have to say it's just a well balanced story. Yeah, I know the no, we'll get to that, but I'll just say that overall, man, they hit it. I don't know how else to describe it. I got so much to say that I can't remember everything, but they just hit it out of the park. I mean, it's just well written.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Yeah.
Hire these guys. Star Wars, Disney, hire these people. Well, I mean, I guess they somewhat work for Disney since this is somewhat of
Nah.
a Marvel.
They need to
Because
be the main director. What do you mean? They be making like the Planet Next Door movies. I'm
look,
sorry. They need to
man,
be in
look,
charge.
Mhm.
I don't know what the
They,
holdup is. Pay him whatever you need to pay him. Get him in there. Get him in there because they knocked us out of the freaking park, man. I mean,
Yeah, man.
I, look, I mean, there is just so much to talk about. Like some like I'll give you a good example of balancing drama and comedy, right? Like remember the one scene where uh, Miles is contending with the spot, and his dad gets involved. Of course, his dad doesn't know that he's Spider-Man yet, and they're tussling or whatever. And near the end of the battle, Miles and or Spider-Man, but his dad doesn't know, and it's almost like they're having this conversation, but it's dramatic and funny because Miles has to like change
Yeah.
his voice. Is like, well, maybe you should talk to him.
oh yeah, their conversation is the deepest
It
movie
was
ever. Man.
hilarious, dude. It was hilarious, and you got to see all the other Spider-Men kind of do something similar with their loved ones who they probably
Mhm.
haven't told yet.
Yeah, that's
You
a part of
know,
their journey. Yes, the
yeah, it's
journey of
part of their
Spider-Man being a
journey. Is like
hero.
Yeah.
they have to
Is you kind of
balance.
you can't save everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have to
Yeah.
balance their superhero life with their regular lives because they can't always be in the lives of the people they love because they're out there being a hero. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I thought that was that one scene though where those two guys were where he was talking to his son even though he didn't realize he was talking to his son, and Miles was just hilarious. This is hilarious, man. But it was also very dramatic
Yeah.
because you got to see, Miles got to see another side of his father. He got to see his father being vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Because to Miles, he's always this big cop. He always does the right thing. You know what I'm saying? He's strong, powerful, whatnot. But he got to see that his father genuinely, truly cares for him, that he worries about him. And man, I'm sorry, black men need that. We need that in movies, man. There's so many negative images of black men out there in media. No thanks to our women, but I won't get into that. But there's so much negative energy, images out there of black men that I think, man, I think this is universal. So I don't think they need to take. I'm not going to say they need to take every black boy to go see this. Every young boy needs to go see this movie so they can understand, why fathers are important. You know what I'm saying? Like Miles Morales is he even said it. He is who he is because of his mother and his father.
Yeah,
his mother and his father. Fathers are extremely important. I'm not gonna lie. The entire time I'm watching the movie, I'm thinking about my dad. You know what I'm saying? What and the type of things my dad has done for me. And and I know a lot of young men or young boys in our community don't really have that. They didn't grow up like how us grew up. They didn't grow up with their fathers, for whatever reason. Yeah. So I think it's very important for for young boys in general, not just black boys, young boys in general, to go see this movie. And that's another thing I liked about it, man. It had a lot of traditional values in it. And that's another thing Disney needs to learn from, man. All this counterculture and weird culture and subculture stuff, man. Let's get back to traditional family values, man.
Oh yeah, like Peter with his daughter, I believe. Yeah, his daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get back to traditional family value. I think that's why so many people resonated with this movie, man.
Yeah, it's definitely positive family. Yeah, pro family.
Yeah, and they can take their families to go see it. Like a lot of the stuff Disney's doing right now, you can't take your family to go see it. Well, you don't want to because they're going to be pushing some agenda on you or something like that, So I don't know, man. Like I have to give it to these guys: Chris Miller, David Callum, Phil Lord. Hey, give me some sound effects. Give them a clap or something, guy. I don't know how to do it yet, so you got to give them a clap or something.
That's all good.
And one
of the other things too with it, man. There's the sound effects. There you go with it. But yeah, man, just like how you were saying, like they're pushing positive messages in it. Like Miles, like his mother and his father, came to the school and they were trying to help, plan this future. Because they genuinely are concerned and stuff, and seeing it actually there. And then of course you got the guidance counselor or something. Basically she was trying to make up a story, for him to help him get in there. And they was like, well, no, we're actually this and we're that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it was just funny how she was throwing that on there. It's like, no, and then, of course, Miles, you coming in, he tells the story. She's like, well, that's the story you should use, So, I mean, it's definitely,
that one scene was very powerful because, it kind of represented that adventurous side that I don't think there are some black boys who naturally have it. They're gonna naturally go out there and do things. Regardless, they're gonna get in trouble. They're gonna experiment, and unfortunately, the way the system is set up, because they experiment, they're gonna be put in jail. Maybe because they don't really come from a good family life. But part of becoming a man is stepping away from your parents. Going off into the world. That's why that one scene was so. Because remember, his mom wanted to keep him. Like, you stay close. You can go to school in Brooklyn. And he was like, "No, I kind of."
He wants to go to the best in the world. Yeah, and that's the world.
He said it. He was like, "There's things I want." Yeah, he said it. He was like, "There's things I want to learn that I can't learn in Brooklyn. I got to go out. You know what I'm saying? And which was so cool because it was kind of like foreshadowing. Well, no, it's not really a foreshadow. It was more of a what's the proper term that I'm looking for?
A call to?
Yeah, I guess it would be like more of a call to not just him going to college, but also him going off into the Spider-Verse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So man, that was such a powerful scene, man. And the other powerful scenes too is when his mother finally realizes it. Like, yeah, okay, he's not a little boy no more. I got to let him kind of like his dad said, spread his wings, man.
Yeah.
It's old than that.
So man, there's a lot of just powerful scenes and the way they I think this is going back more to the aesthetics part of it, the art part. I
Mm-hmm.
really like how they modeled Miles Morales, and maybe it's because I have something because he looks so much like my nephew. He looks so much like Jalen that it feels right to me. Like it was like, okay, he's a like Jalen's very similar. Jalen's a wisecracker. You know what I'm saying? He's funny. He's Jalen's far more adventurous than I think people give him credit for. So
Shout out to Jalen.
Shout out to Jalen, man. I see a lot of Jalen and Miles Morales. I'm proud of that young man, and I hope he keeps doing well because But the way they did some of the lighting when he's talking to his mom and his parents and stuff like that, or the one scene where Gwen Stacy, she's about to go to the portal, and then she looks back because she realizes if I go through this portal, I'm never going to see Miles Morales again. And you could, but you see Miles Morales, he's invisible. She can't see him. And the way it called back to that one scene in the first Spider-Man movie where Mary Jane and Spider-Man kiss, but Spider-Man is upside down. It was calling back to that. They didn't kiss, but they're foreshadowing to the fact that they're going to get together. You know what I'm saying? So they just did a really good job. Just really good job with the I mean,
hands down, man.
Yeah, I mean, even with the visuals, it did. That's what I was saying earlier, Caleb. Even if you took some of the audio out, you could kind of still tell what's going on because it was choreographed so well. Everything was choreographed and composed so well. That you could probably watch this with the audio and never know what they said and still kind of understand what's going on. So they did a really good job. Really good job.
Yeah.
You guys have anything else to say?
They did a good job of syncing this up from the first movie, continuing it from the first movie.
Yeah,
they did a really good job on that. Yeah, and it's I never thought they'd be able to make some random side character just in the background, like the main villain. That's the one thing that kind of surprised me too. Just a random guy in the background kind of became the main villain.
Well, that's the thing.
Definitely.
But that's the thing about Spider-Man and superheroes in general is that the Spot even said it is that I created you, you created me. That type of thing. So I think that the villains will almost become reflections of the heroes themselves.
Because to him, Miles technically ruined his life because he can't get a job or anything like that. So he has no choice but to steal because of the situation. At least that's the only option he has left in his mind.
I don't agree with that. That's the difference between a hero and a villain. He could use his powers for good. But he chose to use it.
It seems like he didn't even have full control over it, so not necessarily.
Miles Morales didn't have full control over his power before he became a hero. That's the thing.
Spot powers are way more dangerous.
But that's the thing, though. Miles was already a hero. You see, the powers just bring something out of you. And I think that's the difference. He's blaming Miles. I'm like, okay, the situation was unfortunate for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But it's what you do with the situation. That's what separates a hero and a villain. That's how I saw it.
And I think too, it's going to be interesting now that since how they were saying that one spider wasn't supposed to bite Miles, it actually got in his dimension. It was supposed to go to another dimension. So seeing that dimension didn't have a Spider-Man, now you got, spoiler alert for everybody, you got this Dark Miles Morales. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, even in the story, I was not looking for that to happen. And then it's
that was such a good such a good twist.
So that's that's one of the things I want to see more now. Okay, what's going to happen now?
Yeah, remember,
it's just
if you remember when we watched the trailer for this and we did a review on the trailer, remember I was like, okay, he has to go save his father. Remember I was predicting it, and the other Spider-Man, got to stop him because it's probably going to cause some kind of catastrophic thing. I never predicted in a million years that when he tries to go back to his universe, that he actually goes to a universe that's very similar to his, and the way they did that thing. When they showed Gwen, because you think he's in that room, and you think Gwen is overhearing what he's dude. They did that so well, dude. They did that so good. That's how you remember I was saying,
plot twist.
That's how you fucking write a story. That's how you freaking write a story, man. That's how you do it. They get you invested in the characters. There's good drama. There's good tension. And then they throw that twist, and then it's oh crap, So
it's about to go down. Actually, to be continued. But that's what
Yeah,
in a
man.
way, I'm glad they did it that way because I was talking to Uncle Dave too. Because then now it gives it more time to develop. Instead of you get this big mashup real quick and they're all fighting and
Yeah.
stuff and just kind of rushing it.
Yeah,
But
trying to rush
now
the
you got
ending.
some
Yeah.
more. Yeah, so
Yeah.
in a way, it's bittersweet. But I want more, man. I want more.
You know what? You know what? I was another thing I was arguing about with some people online because we were talking about black male image.
hmm
Uh, you know, some of my hardcore FBA brothers out there, they were like, "Well, we don't like it because Miles Morales ain't all the way FBA. You know, he's a immigrant or something like that." And I'm like, well,
hmm
and they were saying, well, he goes by his mother's last name, but in the movie, uh, his father says that his last name is Morales. So let's look that up real quick. I'm curious about that.
His name really is
Miles.
Miles Morales. What are you talking about? That's his name.
No, I'm talking about his father. Because his
So
mother's name is
Morales.
his mother's name is
Jefferson.
Rio. But what's his father's?
Mhm.
His mother's name is Rio Morales. But what's his father's full name?
Wasn't it Dave Jefferson? If you go back, yeah, go
Yeah, let me
back.
go back.
Yeah, go back. Let's scroll up.
Jefferson Davis.
Oh,
Jefferson
okay.
Davis. What kind of name is that? Isn't that?
I don't know.
Hey, well, hey,
In the
it
movie though,
works.
even the movie though, I thought he said his last name was Morales.
Yeah, I understand why he
Well, I
doesn't want
think
that last name.
So they were right.
um
They were right. Yeah. So why does he take his father's last name? I mean, his mother's last name.
Because it sounds cooler.
I mean, the alliteration is there for sure. You know, that's for sure. The alliteration is definitely there. Maybe not.
I mean,
Isn't
if he
Je-
has a choice, aren't you going to choose a cooler last name, bro?
I
If you have
thought
a
so.
choice, like.
Why did they name him after a Confederate? What the heck is going on here? It's like, isn't Jefferson Davis? Isn't that some kind of Confederate hero? Like, is he? Yeah, he was the president of the Confederate States of America. Why would they name him that? Why would they name a black man that? Are you sure this is his name? Yeah, I guess his name.
I
All
was
right, I
saying,
got
go on the wiki, dude. Go on the wiki real quick, dude. Just go on the wiki to make sure, because that might not be his actual. Yeah, click on right there. That might not be his actual name.
that's
Nah, it
no.
might be. Nah, that's his name.
See right
That's
here though, it
his name.
says Jefferson Morales.
Oh, well, click on that discuss thing
All right,
right there. That's next to it.
it says in accordance with the naming conventions, it has been suggested that this page be moved to Jefferson Morales. Uh, I'm confused now. Like, okay, is his last name? That's weird to me, dude. Like, why would they name a black man Jefferson Davis?
See, it says Jefferson's son,
All right, it says
Miles.
yes, Miles' last name, which is Morales, instead of his father's name, which is Davis. It says
Or later
Jefferson
this
Davis shared a name with the President of the Confederate States of America. He legally changed his name partially to avoid. That's okay. That's a all right. I no look those guys when they were. I got to give it to him now. I got to give it to him. Like that's a legitimate argument because it just sounds like a bullshit reason to give Miles his mother's last name.
Well, man, they were just joking around. They were joking.
Huh?
They were just joking around.
No, what I'm saying is like, geez, like come
It's a,
on,
it's a
man.
good laugh. No, it's a good joke, bro. I'm sorry. It's a good joke, bro. I'm sorry. That's a good joke right there. That's a good joke.
I'm sorry that. Like, come
Uh,
on, man.
no, it's a
Come
good joke, bro.
on.
You got. Nah, it's a good joke. You gotta give him this one. I'm sorry. This is a good joke. I'm just. they
Jesus.
could.
Yes. Surname legally changed from Jefferson Davis to Jeff Morales. Wow.
You
I
gotta
guess.
tell your FBA people they gotta take the L on this one. I'm sorry. It's a good joke.
Look,
It's
yeah,
a good joke. I'm sorry.
I agree. They're gonna
It's
have
a
to
good
take.
joke.
I agree. They're gonna take the L because look, if
No
look,
choice.
I'd rather watch a movie with young black men depicted like how Miles Morales is depicted. Even if he has what is his mother? Puerto Rican or Dominican?
I don't know.
What is she? I think she's Dominican or something like that. Rio Morales.
Oh, one thing we forgot to talk about too, like even the intro, like Miles, like they made the city look so alive, and they just show all different people, all different camera angles. That's one thing we got to talk about, dude. Like when they show the city looks so alive that there's just so much detail. You can't pay attention to one thing.
Yeah.
When they show any city, it was crazy, and they show the people in the city just walking around.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
Yeah, it looked really good. Oh, she's Puerto Rican. She was Puerto Rican. Yo, Big O. Big O, you there? We gotta tell him this. We gotta tell him this. Hey, do you know why? We gotta tell him this? Like Miles Morales' father's name is Jefferson Davis, and Jefferson Davis was the president of the Confederacy. So he changes his because he realizes, I guess, as he's growing up, he changes his name to his wife's last name, Morales, and that's why they also give Miles the Morales last name because he didn't like the fact that he was named after or that he shares a name with the president of the Confederate States of America.
Man, to me, that's you know what they deep. The story, the plot.
That's hilarious.
It's deep, man.
It's the lore goes all the way to the names. You know, I actually know it's a good story when the lore goes all the way to the names.
It's kind of some bullshit. They want to get that get that boy his father's last name. Well, they should have gave if you're gonna make up a character, don't give the black man a freaking Confederacy president's name. Come on, man. But I see the joke. I get it. I see it, Caliph or Calvin.
All right, guys, it's a pretty good joke, bro.
All right, so we're gonna move to on to acting and writing, and which we've already kind of touched on, but we'll start with you.
Man, what?
Carbon
what?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I felt the standout character is the Spider-Man 2099. I feel like he's probably the standout character for writing, the way they wrote him. You know, he's a story. He's like, I'm going to take the brunt of all this. I don't have to be happy. As long as the rest of them are happy, you know, I'm able to save them. I won't keep everything the way it is. I won't keep it canon. I won't keep it strict. This is the way we're going to do it, and this is the only way. You know, he's willing to sacrifice. And he's already sacrificed, so, you know, he's kind of already lost everything. He has nothing to lose, so he's going to make sure nobody else has to go through what he's had to go through. Or technically, everybody's going to have to go through the same thing, technically, because it's the canon. Can't time. He's gonna make sure everything's the same and consistent to make sure everything can stay the same going forward. You know, he sees it as like the best alcove, and I feel like he's probably one of the most well-written characters in the movie so far. I feel like, so I definitely like the direction they're taking him, and that's probably the standout character for me.
He was definitely pretty cool. I liked him too because I thought he's maybe he just lost his sense of humor after his family died. Because remember, even like the normal Spider-Man was like, Spider-Man's supposed to be funny. We're all funny. We're supposed to be funny.
Like it's like he's so different compared to like the average Spider-Man. That's what I like about it.
He was just so stoic and very serious, and you know, just he was
dark
by the rules.
Like I'm like a line away. Like he could become like a villain Spider-Man. Like, it's like there's like a line that he kind of has to like.
What is? What then they kind of hinted to it a little bit.
I know. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, he's really more of an anti-hero, really, and not really much. Yeah. He kind of he gives me more Batman, Wolverine vibes, you know.
Yeah, because even then there was that one scene, you know, he was like, you know, we're supposed to be the good guys, you know what I'm saying? So it's like in that one little, you know, scene right there, it's like being questioned. Okay, are these actions we're doing supposed to be good? But
are we doing the right thing? Yeah. Sometimes you lose your way. Yeah,
you get blinded by your intentions and things and stuff like that, and all. You know, so, I mean, and he lost so much, and also, you know.
You know, it's interesting too because I remember when we did the Last Supper movie review, and we were talking about that one question. You know, would you go back in time and kill Adolf before he becomes, you know, Hitler? And when it was my turn to answer the question, I was like, well, that throws up a lot of other questions, like, is predestination real? You know, are you destined to go down certain paths or whatever? I don't believe that. But if there is a multiverse, if that's a real thing, you kind of see their point. You can kind of see their point. You know, so, and that's why everyone was being very pragmatic, and Miles is being very hopeful. He's being very we can do both.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
plus,
and
too, man. I mean,
yeah,
it like is hey, he just got word that hey, look, my father might have to die and stuff. So of course he's like,
yeah,
man, nah, I'm gonna try to stop. I'm gonna try to save and get back at any cost. So
hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. I think that when it comes to Miles, right? Because we don't know how that's going to play out because the movie ended on a cliffhanger. So we don't know if he's going to be successful with saving his dad or not. But here's one thing we do know: we know it's going to whatever decision he makes is going to change him forever. He's not going to be a kid anymore, and I think that's the beauty of this movie. It's
yeah, the growth. It's gonna show
classic
that growth.
hero's journey, and I think this was what's wrong with the Rey character. You didn't really see much growth out of her. She was married to, she could just do everything right away. There was no nothing. And she wasn't like Luke. Luke,
Mhm.
you saw it. You saw him grow. You saw all the trials and
Yeah,
tribulations he had to go through. And I think that we're really getting to see just a really good example of that with this movie. But please chime in.
yeah.
What do you think of the overall acting and writing, Big O?
All the acting was good. I didn't see anything that's maybe like, I don't know about that. All the
Yeah.
voice acting,
Mhm.
shit, it was good. I would say,
Point
and
on.
when they did
Yeah,
the jokes are good.
let's look it up.
Like,
Let's look up
Yep.
who the actors are across.
Oh, well,
oh yeah, we
one
forgot to
thing
talk about
now.
Indian Spider Man too, bro. Like the Indian Spider Man, like
Go ahead. We're in the acting writing part across the Spider Verse.
uh, I like this character too.
Oh yeah.
And it's especially like how he had that kind of yo-yo thing. That was kind of cool. He like forward a yo-yo. And actually, that's one thing too. They give like some of the Spider-Man like special ways of fighting. Like that's one thing I wish we did a little bit more. All the Spider-Man something a different way of fighting. And I know it'd been like hard to do.
All right,
But it's
guys. So
like,
here we got Haley Steinfeld as Ghost Spider. Who's Ghost Spider? Isn't that Gwen Stacy? I thought she played the Gwen Stacy character. Who's Ghost Spider?
Yeah,
and then you got
yeah,
the lady on the bike.
Ghost
You
Spider
got
is
the
Gwen
hologram.
Stacy, right? Okay, yeah. It's Gwen Stacy.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. All right.
And you
Now,
got the
they now,
hologram one.
now,
we got
now, right
Stein.
here.
Huh?
Yeah, you're right here. I just learned this, man, because I used to be
What?
like, "Well, dang,
Oh
who
yeah,
does
Spider Punk was pretty good too.
the guy that does Miles Morales?"
Yeah,
I was like,
I've
"Yo,
never heard of this guy, but man, he does a
oh no, no,
good
no,
job.
hey, but you know what though? He plays. I don't know if you ever seen a Wu-Tang American Saga. He
No, I
plays
never bothered
Raekwon.
watching it. Oh, he does.
Yeah, man, he plays.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Right
he
here.
plays
Yeah.
Raekwon. Yeah, because I was like, I just went, well, man, shoot, let me see who this
Yeah.
person is. When I saw him, I was like, yo, that's Raekwon. They do to
Yeah.
play Raekwon, and I was like,
He
yo, so he has a variety of ranges, man. That's why I
Yeah.
never would have
Yeah.
thought.
No, he does a good job. He does a really good job.
Yeah,
Really good
yeah.
Wait,
job
hold
as
on.
Miles Morales.
Wait, were they able to
Um,
save like India Spider Man's timeline? Or is this timeline going to get destroyed? That's
we
one thing
don't know. We
they
don't
kind
know.
of.
They'll probably reveal that more in the next movie. But I have to say this about Haley Steinfeld. I don't know if y'all remember her, but she's been in a lot of movies. I think she's one of the few actresses that's won an Academy Award. I think she's like one of the youngest actors to win an Academy Award. Because remember, she was in that movie called True Grit. Here it is right here, True Grit, with
Mhm.
what's his name? Jeff Bridges, and it's about. Remember, she hires him to go find out what happened to her father and mother. It's like a western. But she won an
Yeah.
I think she won an Oscar or something like that for that movie. But she's a good actor. But here's another thing I find interesting about her is that, all right, you guys tell me when you look at her, what's your first impression about her ethnicity? Normal white girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you look
Funny,
at,
oh,
and this kind of goes back to the whole Cleopatra thing,
Mhm.
because just by looking at her, you would all right, she's white, it's a white chick, white girl. And I think I say she did a great job as
Yeah.
Ghost Spider as Gwen Stacy. But when you look at her lineage, I mean, she's a mixture of all kind of things, and technically, by American standards, she would be black. But let's see, what is she? She's let's see. Steinfeld's father is Jewish and her mother is Christian. Her maternal grandfather, Ricardo Domazin, was half Filipino, from Pengola Bowl and half African American. Steinfeld was raised in Agora Hills and later in Thousand Oaks, California. So she's a mixture. She's a mixture of different things. But I just thought that was interesting because when I see her, I just think, all right, it's a white girl. But no, she's a mixed. She's the mixed bag. She's a mixed bag. And by American standards, technically, she would be African American. One drop rule, guys. One drop rule. But she does a great job as a Ghost Spider. And Daniel Kaluuya, what is he? He was in Get Out. He was in Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Great job as Spider Punk. Who else we have here? Let me zoom out.
Miguel O'Hara.
We got Oscar Isaac. He was Star Wars. He also plays Moon Knight, right? In the Marvel, whatever. Jake Johnson as Spider-Man. Never heard of him. Brian Tyree Henry. He's been in a few Marvel things as Jefferson Davis.
Oh man,
I can't believe they named that man that. That's ridiculous. Karan Sony.
Oh, that's dude from. Yeah, I think he played in Deadpool.
Oh, he did. The Indian guy or the Brian Tyree Henry guy. Huh. Which guy?
Oh gosh, where is it? Kai. I'm probably mess his name up. Kai
Tyree Henry.
Oh no, the other guy.
Oh, there's one guy we got to talk about too.
Yeah. No, to your right. I'm sorry.
Yo, we forgot to talk about the guy at the gas station, bro. And when he sees the guy trying to rob his ATM, he pulls that bat, starts trying to beat him.
Yeah, that was funny.
ATM on the sidewalk.
And of course, we have Issa Rae as Spider-Woman. Like, look, I'm sorry, guys. I don't even know if I want to go. Yeah, because it's like,
what's up? I mean,
the whole pregnant? I'm being a superhero pregnant trope is getting ridiculous. It's like, come on, stop it. That maybe a
she uses a bike. Uses a bike. She or
Spider-Man brought his baby.
Using a bike, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe I'm overthinking. But maybe like someone who's got spider powers can handle that. Like can handle.
I mean, if you're a super, you can't just stop. You know what? That's kind of the whole thing. You know, the whole kind of multiverse in danger. You can't really afford to stop. You know, you kind of have to keep fighting.
I'm getting very jaded as I get older. Getting very jaded with black women. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's like she of course she acted like a typical black woman, stank acting, stank attitude. A lot of the black women were overweight in the movie. But really, hey, black women fought for that. They fought to be depicted like that. So there you go. So hey, you wear your insecurities on your sleeves.
I mean, you got the one that was playing in VR or whatever, like the hologram.
She was a little tubby. She was a little tubby.
Rosa, her diet, she was like, yeah, I just get to sit at home and I
did like her
Fritos and stuff.
I liked her more than
she was cool though.
I liked her more than Spider-Woman. I thought she was way cooler than Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman was kicking butt though. I give it to her. I give her that. She was kicking butt. She was kicking butt with that.
She was doing it.
But out of all the designs, I liked her the least. I didn't like hers at all that much. I thought all the other Spider-Men looked cooler than her. Like. You're gonna have a mask.
Like one of hers, like it's like she didn't have a mask though.
Yeah, her mask doesn't even hide her identity.
Yeah, it's like sometimes she had the mask, and sometimes she didn't have the mask.
Yeah, maybe there's something about her particular lore where she doesn't have to hide her identity. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But I thought Homegirl was hilarious. Baby Spider. She was funny as I don't know what. Like Spider-Man's daughter, he was hilarious. And he was hilarious. He was
no. Funny, Cowboy Spider-Man, bro. You forget about Cowboy Spider-Man, bro?
Oh yeah,
Cowboy Spider-Man was funny. Yeah.
You got T-Rex Spider-Man. You got a cat Spider.
Or do even the Doc Ock Spider-Man? Remember where Miles hopped on his back or whatever, and he had like the full form trying to touch or whatever.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, tell me, did Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland, did they show up? Because I had to use the bathroom, so I missed like maybe 3 minutes.
I know Wonder Woman showed up. I know Wonder Woman showed up.
Someone said it was supposed to show up in the movie. I don't remember showing it. I don't remember seeing it.
I remember seeing a clip.
Yeah, I remember seeing.
Yeah, it was not Tom. It was not Tom Holland. Definitely Tom Holland.
Yeah, they showed Andrew Garfield. They showed like footage from those movies. What I'm saying is that they show up like as characters in the movie.
I remember seeing that.
Okay. So maybe they're gonna do that in the next movie. Maybe that's what they're going to do in the next movie. But overall, man, it was I had to say, all the actors, even Issa Rae, I'll give it to her. She played the typical black. She played the typical black woman well. But everybody did a really good job. Oh wow, this guy's in it. Shay Wingham. He plays George Stacy. I don't know who that is. This guy plays the Vulture.
Wait, is that what you call his dad?
Huh?
Is that what you call that Gwen's
wow.
dad?
Who?
George Stacy.
Sheo
Well, they got New York cover
Wingham.
girl
I
in
guess
here,
so.
too.
Yeah. You're right. That would be Gwen Stacy's dad.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
a pretty good job. He
He did a good job. I see he's been on
Mm.
a ton of movies. This guy's been in a ton of movies too. But yeah, man, I have to say, man, that all the acting, they brought it, man. They brought it. And I don't
Yeah.
know what it is, man, but Disney needs to take note, dude. They need to take note. This is what happens though when you
Man, once they start hurting them pockets,
yeah,
they
it's
will.
already happening. But
Tell
this is
you.
what happens when you hire a bunch of activists instead of
Yeah.
actual writers.
No,
And I'm
even
not saying-
DreamWorks is doing better than bro. No, even DreamWorks
Yeah,
is
because I
doing
heard
better than
Mario.
right now.
Is it Mario Brothers? Isn't that DreamWorks? What company
No,
was that?
that's a Lucent.
Okay,
DreamWorks
yeah, I
was
know.
made that Puss in Boots. That Puss in Boots was
That's
pretty
right. I
good
heard
too.
Puss in Boots did a good job. Did well. Yeah, I heard it did a good
That movie
job.
was
Yeah,
good. That movie was
yeah,
good too. And especially did when it did
yeah, man.
it kind of did something similar to Spider Verse when it did like when they was doing the fight scenes, but the other
Yeah.
that was like a different stuff. When they did the fight scenes though, the style for the fight scenes was a good that movie. I know I'm going on to talk about a different movie.
But nah, if any you guys have anything else to say about that,
I like
acting,
something like the vision. I know I'm kind of going back.
that's
Yeah,
cool. Go
man,
ahead.
shoot, just top notch, man. Just one of the things with the just one of the things with the visuals, man. Like I noticed they started doing like the camera tilt a lot more, like showing it upside down wise and stuff. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know,
Like
man.
yeah, there
It's
was one
just
scene. The one
it's
scene
a lot
where
of things.
the one scene where Gwen first comes back to his universe, and they go off to the building, and they're walking on the building, talking to each other. Man, like they did such a good job with showing romantic chemistry in an animation. Man, they did an excellent job. You know what I'm saying? And capturing that part of your life
Yeah,
when you're young and you first meet a girl you like, she kind of
yeah,
likes you back. They did a really good job with that, man. They did a really good job. So man, you got to give it to these guys, man. Like, because part of
yeah,
acting is the animators, and you have to give it to them, man. They killed it. They freaking killed it, man. It's just such a good movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
But
with the facial expressions as well too, with
yeah,
the acting and stuff like that, and also with it being animated. You know, they did a really good job, showing that
yeah.
in the visual sense of it too. And also, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on to our final segment, and that is music and final rating. We're gonna give our ratings, and we're gonna talk a little bit about if the music affected you at all. So we're gonna start with you, Carbon X.
It definitely did. And one thing I like with the music, when certain characters come on screen, certain instruments would like play or be louder. Especially when
Yep.
Gwen showed up, it'd be like the drums. I really noticed
Dude,
that.
yeah,
when
that
it was
one
some other
scene,
characters, too.
yeah,
Dude, that
was
was
killing
the
it.
way they were
He
doing
was
that with
killing
the
it,
music,
dude.
like
Yeah,
to like represent certain characters like a certain instrument. That was really cool. I really like that. And like I said, I really liked it when they remixed the Prowler theme. That was one of the best songs in the first one. So that was a good one too. I want to say besides that one and the scene when they were fighting, I don't remember that. I know the music was good. I don't remember those are two songs I definitely remember the most though. But the music, it definitely worked well with all the scenes. It flowed well. I'm about to say it. So
all right, Big O, what'd you think of the music? We're gonna come back and do the ratings last, Caleb.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Again, the music has been on point, just like it was in the first one. This whole soundtrack, I love the first one, and I'm loving this one as well too. And just like Carbon was saying too, like when certain characters come out, they have that instrument, and a lot of the music I feel like well, not a lot of it, but well, it's just a style of it. It's like a lot of things is very experimental. Like especially like when there was like India and the type of how they were playing, you could tell that it had a mixture of like samples and they're like making it into music. Like when they're like with the duck and all that type of stuff and all. It's just it all went very well together. You could tell it's experimental, but it works, man. And my favorite, man, especially when the Prowler comes in. I remember seeing that on the first movie, man. It's just that sound and that instrument, whatever they use. It's like, whoa, hold up. Even when he moves,
talking about the elephant.
hear,
Yeah, they used the elephant to make that I
he
really love
did.
song.
Oh man,
They used the elephant.
I
They
love
sampled
it,
the
man.
elephant to do that, dude.
Yeah, actually, I love that man. It's just you feel it. It felt so good to have that back. Because when when it was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? When the twist came up and that came in, and then even more is him, is Miles. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, that joke was dope. It was dope.
Very on point with the
You're big or you're Borging a little bit.
more sound effects. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How about now? Is this a little better? I probably have to stand more on this side.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, man. Look, I have to say, when it comes to music and sound effects, boy, man, like, I mean,
It's Sony.
Yeah, and it pulls you in with it. Because when you see Gwen Stacy, she's on her drums, boy. You hear those things, man. Like and like Carbon X said, man. Like having, and this the other problem with the Star Wars trilogy. They didn't have themes for the different characters, or if they did, it was so unassuming you don't remember it, like how the first Star Wars movies were, or even the prequels movies were. You know what I'm saying? It was just so unassuming. But this movie right here, man, the music was just on point, and I liked it too because they had a mixture of like modern stuff and old stuff. Because I remember when he goes to the alternate universe that's similar to his, and you see his uncle. He puts on the record. Yeah. You hear the one song.
Ain't no love.
Yeah, I was like, yo, dude, man, they killed it, dude. They are killing it, man. Like, they did such a good job with the score on this, man. They just did an amazing job, man. I can't express, like, because that can make or break a movie. And one thing I like about it too is that it didn't feel like any of the music was pandering to me. You know, because sometimes they'll there's a black guy, and let's throw some hip hop in there. Like this sounds like some of the music that Miles was listening to sounds like the type of music he probably listened to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It seems like Gwen Stacy would probably be into like rock and like hard drums and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially with her haircut, she just seems like that type of girl. You know what I'm saying? It seems like Miles's uncle would be into that type of soul music. You know what I'm saying? It was just so good. Like they did a good job. And here's another thing I like about this movie. This is how you do diversity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do diversity by making compelling characters. Because I didn't care about
just off the race alone. Yeah, it's not just off the race alone.
I didn't care if the
Indian
Indian guy
the race
was Indian,
of the character, and they would still be a good character.
Exactly. I don't care if Gwen is white. I don't care that Miles Morales is black. You know what I'm saying? I care about the characters. They're interesting characters. They're not just, I'm going to make this character black just to draw you into whatever. If Miles was white or Asian, I care just as much. It's just that good of a story. It's that strong of a story. Yeah. I still say, hey, boys in general need to go see this movie. Just like how I say about Superman or Captain America or anybody else. If just well-written stories, you know what I'm saying? Or good morals in the stories. It's something I think boys need to learn. And I think this transcends that. But it's good to have it. I think it was good to have, but it also transcended it because the themes transcended. This is something that anybody can relate to. And again, this is, in my opinion, how you do strong female characters. In many ways, Gwen's character parallels Miles. They're going through the same thing. That's why they can relate to each other so well. They're going through the same things at the same time, and I'm assuming they're around the same age. I think Miles might be a little bit younger than her. But I mean, she was going to school with him, so, in the first one, so I'm assuming they're around the same age. But yeah, man, I have to give it to those guys, man. When it comes to the overall music and stuff like that, they killed it, boy. And the two parts that stand out most in my mind are obviously that first part with the drums, the Prowler scenes for sure. But
no,
overall,
man, that chase scene when they was climbing up that bus thing,
yeah,
bro.
The bus thing, yeah, you're right. But
that scene was crazy.
They killed it, man. They killed it. But we're gonna move on to final ratings, guys. We're gonna wrap this up. Carbon X, you got
this
5.
Was 10 out of 10, dude. 10 out of 10.
No, wait, you got 10. You got 5 normal bugs. 5 is like a really good movie.
5.
Wait, you gotta let me finish what I'm saying. And then you got 6, but there's a 6th bulb that we have. It's a rare bulb, but it's only if the movie is just exceptional. Like, it has to be beyond exceptional. Now, you tell me, do you think this should stop at 5, or do you think it deserves that 6th bulb?
No, I deserve that 6, bro. That's when we went. And every department, this movie did good. It didn't mess up with the acting, didn't mess up with the sound or the music, didn't mess with the animation, bro. The interesting thing with the lighting, like how they did certain stuff with the colors, it did good in every little thing. I didn't see any flaws that I could just like nitpick or criticize or anything. Story's good, so it's like this one, it deserves the highest rating I can give it because it didn't do anything wrong. Like most movies that we watch, there's always something that we can complain about. This movie, I don't have a single thing I can complain about. So it's like probably the only movie we have watched so far where I can't complain. I literally cannot complain. So it's like I left being I was entertained the whole movie.
Me too, dude. The entire time I was like, yes.
I felt like with the money I spent this was actually worth it. Most movies out there, I feel like, man, I wasted my money, man, I threw my money in the toilet. But this money, I feel like, was worth it for the 2 hours they gave me, bro. Like, it was worth it.
On just a side note, 30-year-old Spider-Man with the slippers was cracking me up. look at him, he got these slippers on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He was cracking me up. Up.
No,
Hey,
and
Orlando,
then the
you're Borgin.
we got the gosh, what do you call it? Oh, Borgin. How about now? Is this better?
Yeah, that's better.
It's better now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hold on.
Nah.
There's one more thing I gotta find.
Uh-oh.
No. You can keep talking. There's one more thing I gotta find. No. I gotta find it real quick.
Now I was saying too that robe, he was killing with the robe.
The robe, yeah. All right, so we're gonna go down to you, Big O. Like, give us your final rating, man. How you gonna rate Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
Well, I'm gonna start with my oh gosh.
I'm gonna send this video real quick.
Go ahead.
Are you sending me something?
I'll just put it in the general chat. For people who want to go see this movie, you gotta act like this before you go in the theater, bro.
What's this?
That's the general.
Look at it.
Yeah, you gotta watch this real quick, Brian.
Hold on, I gotta bring it up first.
This dude. Bro, this is how I thought I was gonna be attacked. All those kids, I was spinning to act like this, bro. I'm never gonna lie. I'm never gonna lie, bro.
All right, can you guys see it?
Yeah.
There's nothing more powerful than you making your thing happen.
You can't have no disturbances during this movie.
Making a difference.
Can't wait for this man.
Hey, one second. Y'all here to see a Spider-Man movie, right?
Yeah.
I just want to lay down some rules real fast because I see you got a baby with you. Rule number 1, that baby is not coming in.
What?
So you can leave him on the ground or y'all can go home and have nap time, huh?
What are you talking about?
I said that baby's not coming in. You deaf?
You work here?
No, I don't, but I work for the people and I'm making sure the Spider-Man experience is not ruined. I'm Peter Parker, bitch, as long as you concerned.
Well, you're black.
Well, I'm Miles Morales then. You and the baby not coming in, regardless of who I am.
Man, I don't need.
Yeah, all right.
This.
Okay, cool. Hey, what's that in your hand right there?
Oh, this right here? It's my original comment to the Spider-Man multiverse.
That is dope.
Thanks, I know, right?
You're not getting in.
Wait, why?
Because you finna be doing too much. You bought a comic book.
Done anything.
You finna be talking all throughout the movie like this doesn't match to the Spider-Man.
Yeah, I deserve to see if the movie's actually source material.
That's why you're not coming in.
No, I'm coming in.
No. You watch it tomorrow morning. You're not coming in.
Not fair. And I paid for this movie. You ain't getting in.
Hey, I'm gonna do it like this. Y'all put your phones in the bag. I don't want to hear no phone ringing. And y'all go. You put your phone. It don't matter where I work. Like I said, I'm working for the people today. You're gonna put your phones in this bag. And not only that, y'all gonna use the bathroom before the movie because y'all ain't standing up and messing up the movie.
I sure just said I had to go though. I rarely do
Get
that.
past me first. I'm security. All right. Then you gonna get the manager. And you gonna use the bathroom. No number 2s. If you using the number 2 in here, you dirty anyway. So you're not coming in.
We're not putting our phones in the bag.
You're not getting in there, man.
Man, this is not right, man.
Hey, quit playing, bro. You know I'm gonna get to that door at the same time as you. Go on somewhere, bro. I know
You got a runner.
No, sir.
So yeah,
good one, Carl.
if you haven't watched this review, you want to go see the movie, you better be like that. Don't have no disturbances during this movie. You need peace and quiet to watch the movie. Don't let nobody stand up. No phones. No crying babies. No nothing, bro.
And even if you bought your ticket for the wrong movie theater,
oh, like you did.
that's all the way
in California.
I bought one in California. Hey, but they was nice enough to still let me in, man. I got
Yeah,
front
you
row,
got a
was.
plane ticket, bro. You got to
a
watch
Yeah,
row
he
to
was.
myself and everything.
He was nice enough to let you in. Yeah,
But
yeah. But
yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I
yeah,
liked
close
I
call.
liked the fact that I heard people talking during the movie. I mean, they were getting into it. Kids were yelling and screaming. At
Mhm.
the end, everyone was like, "Oh!" because they wanted to see more because it was it
Oh
ended on a
yeah,
cliffhanger. Yeah, so I like that.
and that's
Sometimes
and, and that's where my problem with the movie was. I'm like,
I mean, they
no,
said that this was going to be a part one, though.
I wanted, I didn't get that memo, so I guess that's on me.
Yeah, we remember we talked
I
about
did
that
not
in
get
the
that,
when we did the trailer. Remember
man.
they call it part one. So we kind of I knew they were going to end it.
I did,
Yeah.
man. Look, I
Is that
was
going
so excited,
is
and
that
everything
gonna
was
is
going
that
so
gonna
good. I was
affect
enjoying
your?
the movie.
But you got to think we were in there for like 2 hours and 30
Oh no,
minutes.
no,
Yeah, it was
no.
no, it was 246. I
But
remember it was a
Brian,
246 minute
So
film.
but the so good. I didn't man,
Dude, this
I
thing
felt
would
like
have been 5 long if
2
they the full
hours.
yeah,
way.
Big O, you're like really bored and you want to like come out and come
Man,
back in
I'm
again.
okay. How's this? Is this better? Hold on.
You want to try it without the video? Maybe the video is causing
Okay,
issues.
y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know, one
Okay,
thing I
hold
think
on.
they should do if they have like little budget left, just take some of the other like random Spider-Man in here and make a TV show out of them.
that would be interesting. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Some of the other other Spider-Man that didn't really get a chance to shine this, they can make a TV
Well, it's
show
not
out of
about,
them.
well, it wasn't about them. They were side characters, but they were very interesting. They were very interesting.
Yeah,
I
because like
really
Spider-Man,
liked,
so we can make a
and I
TV
really
show out
liked,
of it, you know?
I really liked the Indian Spider-Man. He was funny. He was hilarious. It was a different take. You know what I'm saying? So he looked
Yeah.
different. I liked his look. So I like that one, man. But Big O, man, give us your final rating.
Am I still coming through clear now?
Yeah. Your audio is good.
Okay. Yeah, man. Well, that's on me. I didn't know it was a part one, but like I said, the movie was so good. I wanted more, and I didn't feel like I was in there for 2 hours or 3.
Me
I mean,
neither. It really
it's
didn't
like
feel that way.
it
My
didn't
bladder
feel
felt
that
that
way.
way.
So it's like, I mean, hey, when the thing came on, it said to be continued. I was like, "Oh, this is a joke, right?" I literally pulled out my phone and looked to see what time it was, and like, what the movie started at 7,
7,
and
yeah.
it was going on 5. I was like, "Oh no, this might be true." I was like, "Wait a
Yep.
minute." I was like, "Cause it picked up again." You know what I'm saying? So, man, but all in all, 6. Just like
Yeah.
last time, again, 6. They continued it. They brought it. I mean, I'm loving it, and can't wait to see the next one, man.
Yeah,
So
man.
yes, definitely 6.
For my review, man. I mean, for my final rating, man. I gave the first Into the Spider-Verse movie. Man, it was a few years ago when we reviewed that movie, but I thought it was the movie of the year. I was like, it's the best movie of the year, and I have to say, so far, I mean, we still got
Yep,
another
yet
6 months
again.
to go. But man, so far, man,
Mhm.
to me, this is the movie of the year. I give it 6, guys. I give it a solid 6.
Mhm.
I mean, it's almost a perfect movie. You know what I'm saying? For my taste anyway, maybe some. But we just looked at the
Even the critics agree with us this time.
even the
around,
crit
so it's like,
95%, 97%. I mean, that
Yep.
shit, man. That's high. Those are high scores, man. Those are
the
high
critics usually don't
scores.
score that high. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
say
man.
critics give you
So
that, your
Yeah.
movie has to be good. Man. Critics and now they
I'm
agree with you
like,
both. Like, there's
yo,
something. Like,
they like. I gotta check out what the guys who wrote this. I gotta check out some of the other stuff they did because they did one hell of a job on this, and I don't know if there's other writers who are just as good, like that's in Disney, and they're just being limited because that winch has control over Disney right now or over Star Wars right now. But I don't know what kind of balance they have. I don't know how much the executives have, what say they have
Well,
in it, and how much creative control they have. But these guys knocked it out the park. I mean, it's just a well written movie. And the first one was a well written movie, and you get to see Miles's journey as he becomes older a little bit in this. So that third movie that they're going to do, man, I think they're going to kill it. they're gonna kill it. I don't know what they're gonna do with the Prowler version of Miles or you know, but or or how they're gonna make it even more interesting than they did this movie. But I have trust in these guys now, man. They know what they're doing. They clearly know what they're doing. I was even telling Caleb at the end, I was like, yo, this is how you direct a movie. Who's the director, by the way? Who directed this?
Man, then you gotta look at it too. He's got like 3, you know, I won't say bad guys or nothing like that, but it's like, okay, you got the spot,
Yeah, 3 directors.
and then and then you kind of, well, you got you know, the Dark Spider-Man wise and whatnot, but and then now you got this Miles, who's you know, this different version of him. It's like, man, he's really dealing with like 3 different entities. You know what I'm saying? So he's got everything stacked up against him, man. So I think that's one of the things that makes it very interesting to me as well, too. You know, you got the Prowler, you got, you know, the future Spider-Man, and you got Spot, and then all this stuff that's going. I mean, man, the stakes are definitely stacked, and then plus he's in a whole nother universe now too. So you know, but. Man, it'd be interesting, man. But they killed me with that to be continued. Oh, yeah, gosh, they really did. But
well, let's give a shout out to these guys, man. Looks like it has 3 directors. Maybe they directed different. Like maybe there was like an animation director or whatever, more of a script story, like traditional director. Maybe there was a visual. I don't know. But what is that? Joaquim Dos Santos, Justin K. Thompson, and Kemp Power. Shout out to you guys, man. You guys did a hell of a job.
Definitely.
Hell of a job, man.
Definitely.
Let's see.
That's how it's done.
That's how it's done, man. That's how it's freaking done, man. These are the co-writers, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. Let's see, what else have they done? They should have like a filmography. Let's see, they've done Lego Movie 2, Solo, a Star Wars, Solo, a Star Wars story. So I guess they helped write that. That movie was okay. Like it wasn't as bad as everyone said it was, but it wasn't great either.
Definitely like Spider-Man, I would have said.
They wrote it. They did the Lego Movie, 22 Jump Street, 21 Jump Street, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I actually liked the first Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs movie. And some other movie called Extreme movie. I've never heard of that. But I know one thing. They did a hell of a job with this one. Hell of a job. But guys, if you guys don't have anything else to say, I want to give can you turn your camera back on one more time, Big O?
Oh, yeah.
I want to give everybody doing their thumbs up so I can do it for the thumbnail. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's one.
Am I coming through?
Yeah, you're coming through. Cool. Everyone just go like this so I can do a screenshot of it.
Sorry, too. That's
you're Borg, Big O. We can't see yours.
You can't see my phone.
Yeah, we can't see it. Your internet is janky.
I'm telling you, man.
Are we gonna wait for Big O?
Hopefully they'll get this thing together. Hold on.
Who we got? We got
try it like this then.
Coi Leray, Sway Lee, Future, Don Toliver, James Blake, Offset, WizKid, Lil Uzi Vert, 21 Savage, Lil Wayne, Nas, and A$AP Rocky. For the Japanese release of the film, the original song titled Realize will be performed by Lisa. Says Daniel Pemberton confirmed that he would return from the previous film to compose the sequel score. Yeah, that's a little better.
Alright, I'm just catching that.
Hold on, let me read this real quick. This is the critical response. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 95% of 236 critic reviews are positive, with an average rating of 8.7 out of 10. The website's consensus reads, just as visually dazzling and action-packed as its predecessor, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse thrills from the start to cliffhanger conclusion. It does, man. Metacritic, which uses weighted average, assigned the film score at 86 out of 100, based on 54 critics, indicating universal acclaim. Agreed, man. This junk is dope, man. Brian Tallarico of RogerEbert.com gave the film 4 out of 4 stars, writing, like the work of a young artist who refuses to be restrained by the borders of the frame. Across the Spider-Verse is loaded with incredible imagery and fascinating ideas. It is smart, thrilling piece of work that reminded me of other great part twos like The Dark Knight and The Empire Strikes Back. I agreed. Ann Hornaday of the Washington Post gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, calling it an extravagant, very cool love letter to the graphic design, and agreed, executed with superb draftsmanship and giddy, infectious joy. Richard Roper of the Chicago Sun-Times also gave it 3 out of 4 stars, writing, "It's a bit too much at times," and that's just kind of gets what Uncle Dave was saying. But it's also pretty great, and it'll be a huge surprise if the third chapter in the trilogy isn't equally entertaining. Rolling Stone's David Fear said that the film completely recaptures the panel-to-panel thrill of discovering your respective era's teens angsty Marvel icon. Agreed. The thrill of the multiversal new is gone. Everything else, however, is extra webbed for your pleasure. Kevin Marr of the Times gave the film 4 out of 5 stars, writing, "It rarely draws breath between set pieces and creates distinct and spectacular environments for each separate Spider-Verse." So it's right now it's critically acclaimed, man. I have to agree. But let's go ahead and give our yeah. All right, cool. So I'll put that in the. I can't see your thumb, Caleb. There you go. All right.
Uh-oh.
All right. So yeah, that's enough. I can get the thumbnail from it. But guys, that will conclude our review for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Definitely worth going and checking out. I haven't seen a movie twice in theaters in a long time, but I'm probably going to go back and see this because there's so much in it that I probably missed. So I'm probably going to go back and check this out again. I'm going to ask John when he's going to go see it again. I'm going to go with them. So because I just want to see what the other young boys, they're close to being men. They're like, 14 and 15 now. I want to see I guess JV had to work.
Podcast with them, yeah. Do a second podcast.
The JV had to work, Orlando.
Yeah. He didn't work. No, man. Yeah, maybe.
Try to coordinate something with John so we can bring JV in to go see it, man. I'd like to see it again. I really would. That's how much I like this one. Matter of fact, I'm trying to think which one was better, the first one or the second one.
Second.
Yeah, that's it. This one right here. It's like it takes everything the first one did, and it just takes you to a whole other level. It takes it to a whole other level. Yeah, they amplify that joint too, and I really like the first one. So, but yeah, that concludes our review. Any last words, guys?
No, man. I can't wait for the third one.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you that one video is gonna be me in the third one, bro.
You said a what?
That one video I sent you gonna be me on that third one, bro.
Oh yeah, everyone shut the hell up. Yeah. I don't mind it. I like the energy. I like the energy of the theater that we had. I liked it. No one was distracting. Like you couldn't watch the movie, but I like hearing the kids and stuff like that. I liked it. That was a lot of fun too. Yeah. So and then we were in the larger theater too, and it was packed. It was like most of the seats were filled. So I hope this movie does really well. But with that, guys, this is Lucent Truth signing off. We'll see you guys next Friday.
Lucent Studio.